welcome back to the channel, or hello for the first time. So what a start to the year it's been here in New Zealand. Myself, I started off doing some DIY. I cracked a rib, so I couldn't really do much here. I hurt my shoulder, and for the last week and a half I have had well, I tested negative for COVID, but I've had all the symptoms and I've been feeling like crap. That's why I'm sounding a bit weird. I may cough a bit, but I'm getting over most of it now, so I haven't shot in a while. So, and then we had the cyclone hit New Zealand. Luckily it was up north from us, and then yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, we had a 6.2, 6.3 earthquake. So it's all happening. But let's get back to our video and what we're going to talk about today, and that is upgrades to our beginner bow, and then upgrades to take our shooting to a higher level. And what can we upgrade, and why do we upgrade it in the first place? So let's go and have a look at our beginner bow and see what we can upgrade on it and why we would want to do that. So let's go. So here we have beginner bow. This is a Roland. This is what my daughter used actually when she first started. Good bow. It's a plastic handle, resin handle with resin limbs, and again you could buy different poundages, and they were screwed in. It comes with a point for a stabilizer, point for a button, and a place to put a sight on. So the first thing we're going to look at for our upgrades is we'll keep the riser and the limbs. We'll do that on a different video, but we'll look at what else we can change. And as you can see, what we have on here at the moment is a Hoyt Super Rest. I think this is the Hoyt. Yeah, it's definitely the Hoyt one. And what do we have on it? There we go. So as you can see, it's got the little bit on there that holds the arrow rest itself, and on the inside just there where my thumb is, hopefully you can see, get some sunlight or light on it, it's got a little standoff. Try and do that. Focus. Yeah, you can just see where my thumb is, that standoff, and that acts as a button or a cushion plunger. So the first thing we can do, and don't get me wrong, these rests are very good. I've seen even Olympians use them because there's nothing much to go wrong with them. But the first thing we can do is change out the rest, and there's a number of different rests we can put on, and I've got some here. Now there's two main types of rest that we're going to put on. First is a stick-on rest, and it does what it says on the tin. It sticks on. So you stick it onto the riser, side the riser. You can move it up and down, and this one is magnetic as well, so it flips back out, and the button goes through the middle. So when you're using a rest, you also need to use a button. So that's the other thing you can use. Lots of different ones out there, and here we have a button or a cushion plunger. And the cushion plunger screws through this hole from the other side, and hopefully you can see, my finger's not too much in the way, it is like a shock absorber. And here's another one. So when you take your shot, the arrow pushes against it and it acts as a shock absorber and stops your arrow hitting the riser. So you need to get that in the right position, and we can talk about that at a later date. So we've got our stick-on rest, we've got a cushion plunger. The other type of rest that you're going to find is the wraparound rest. Now this does again what it says, it wraps around the riser. So if we've got our riser here, what it would do on a metal riser is it actually wraps around. There we go. just there. And it can flip in and out as well. They're usually magnetic metal. This is a Arco Sport version. AAE, there's lots of different types out there. I use myself an AAE Cavalier Free Flight Elite Micro. It's micro adjustable. So why do we want to change from our Hoyt Super Rest to these type of rests and a button? Well, it all comes down to tuning. By moving this in and out, we can change a thing called center shot, and I will put up a picture of center shot and how it works. Now, center shot is where your arrow sits on the rest and how it lines up with the string. And all the books I've read, all the videos I've seen, what they show you is that the point should, this is for a right-handed archer, the point should be just to the left of the string as you look straight down it, as long as your string is straight and your limbs aren't bent and that type of thing. And then again with your cushion plunger, so all these things are adjustable. Oh, let me put that down. This can move up and down and then be screwed into place. This here, you'll notice, has two little screws. One, it can move slightly up and down as well, and the other one will lock this screw, which can go in and out. And inside is a spring, and by moving this spring in and out, you can adjust the tension on the plunger itself to make it less or more, act as a shock absorber, so it's weaker or stiffer. So if you've got a really high poundage bow, when you fire, the arrows will bend because of Archer's paradox, and to stop them hitting the riser, it will push in and act as a shock absorber and stop the arrow from hitting the riser, as I've said. Now, if that's too weak, this will bottom out and your arrow will hit the riser. If it's too stiff, it will push the arrow away from the riser and you'll get inconsistent shots on your target face. So you can adjust this slightly. So if your spine is slightly out, you can adjust your button to bring the tune in. And there's lots of different prices of these things. I've got two different types here. This is a spring, this black one is a spring loaded version. This red one is a magnetic version, so it uses magnets rather than the spring inside. And you can increase it and decrease it by just clicking this, clicking this backwards and forwards. And you just unloosen it and then turn it on the shaft. There we go, as you can see, it clicks around. This one, you just screw in, screw out. Now I've used these things. This is a Shibuya DX button, come in all different colours. And I've got them on all my competition bows. Very, very confident in these things. Very little to go wrong, and they're a really, really good price. They're not expensive. You may be looking around, I think when I bought them they were about £25, and I'm not sure what they are now, but you could go to the top of the range of Biter. I think Win do one now as well, and Vivix, and these are in the hundreds of pounds, hundreds of dollars range. But if you're just upgrading to begin with, go for, I would say, the Shibuya DX. It does everything you need, comes with different tips. This is the gold tip, metal tip, and yes, they do wear over time, but I think this was the first one I had, so it's a good 12-13 years old. And as you can see, yes, there's wear on there, hopefully you can see, but you can change those tips out if you need to. So the button and the rest, I always use a wraparound because I always feel that these could come unstuck in heat, and I've seen it happen before. And the first thing that people know is when their arrow misses the target or hits low or hits wrong. So lots of people do use these because they don't take up much space, they're very little effect on the arrow, but I always prefer the wraparound. But I prefer the wraparound that's got some micro adjustment to it, so the Cavalier Free Flight Elite. So what you want with your arrow rest is for it to sit just right, so the arrow, as it's going along it, sits just on it, and this doesn't stick out too far. Otherwise your fletchings will hit on it and it won't work very well. So there's your first two upgrades: your button and your rest. Now the next upgrade that I would consider, so you can shoot better and you can get better, is changing your sight. Now this, some people would say, oh, you maybe want to change your limbs, change your rider, but that's expensive. You can go, what we're talking about here with our, as you can see, it's magnetic. These things, you can pick up a wraparound arrow rest for say $20, a button for $20, and you've already got a cheapo plastic sight that will move up and down, but it takes a bit of doing. So when you're shooting at different distances, yeah, it takes a bit of time. And this just bolts onto the side. Plastic, it does the job for when you're starting off. So what would I upgrade to? Do you want to go straight away to something that is hundreds and hundreds of dollars? On my competition bows, I use Sherlock. These are the older ones, and they just last and last and last. Axel is another very good one. Win and Win, Shibuya, they all do these top of the range $400, $500, $600, $700 sights. But do you need that? No. Here I have two sights, a Cartel, and I've had this one for a while as well, and a Toe Point, Chinese. Excuse me sniffing, I'm still getting over, as I said. What is different between these two and this plastic one? Well, one, they're made from metal. They're solid, they're well built, they'll last a long time. Two, they're micro adjustable. As you can see on the Toe Point, it's even got numbers written on the side. Easy to move up and down. You just loosen it and twist top and bottom, and you can do some real micro adjustment. Windage as well, in and out, micro adjustment. Even on this Cartel one, it isn't as adjustable, but you can change quickly. This will move up and down on the helix of the screw there. Hopefully you can see. It's got windage left and right as well, and you can use different sight pins. Yep, I've got the two different sight pins in there. One is the Shibuya sight pin, I think that is. That's what I started off shooting, and I have gone to the round encapsulated ones now. I just find them a lot better. And yeah, you can put the sight pins on, get your micro adjustment, and shoot away to your heart content. And these things are very, very good. They don't come loose. Sights have gone, even the cheap ones, extremely good compared to the olden sights. As I say, I use Sherlock sights, and yeah, fantastic. Never had any issues with them. So they're the three main things that you can change on your bow to make them shoot, or help you shoot a little bit better, more accurate, more tunability, and yeah, overall those three things you may be looking at about, well, this sight was about $80. It's a very good sight. It doesn't come with a sight pin, I don't think, but if you've got a sight pin, you can pick up a sight pin quite cheaply. This is the Chinese one, D-cut one. I think it was like $10. Toe Point do one for $30. I've also got a Shrewd one. They're all very good, but it's whatever suits your eye. So this is just the first bit of upgrades for your bow. As I said, changing from a super rest to a button, a wraparound or stick on. That is one way. It will help with tunability, and also changing your sight, give you a bit more length on there to move in and out, up and down, more distance, just a bit more accuracy actually. So that's just a quick look at some of the upgrades. We will look at some more in another video to help us shoot better, and I hope this is just showing you what is out there, how you can upgrade cheaply, and yeah, will it help? Hopefully. Let me know what you've upgraded to. Has it been worth it? Has it got you some more points? Are you shooting better? I will catch you next time. Hopefully I'll be feeling a little bit better then. Fingers crossed. And yeah, have a great day. Keep shooting. Bye bye.